Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Paper Daisy Journals. It's Kylie. I have a journal to share with you today. It is one of my grungy themed journals on the inside, but the outside I have covered in old antique and vintage French linen, and I've double stitched an old doily as the cover. But I've also stitched a beautiful piece of fabric as a little feature that wraps around, and of course at the front here a really beautiful antique French key. Of course you don't need to get them from France, this one just was. You can find them in all different countries, and I've just stitched that on a piece of crochet doily that I had avocado dyed, and I've just stitched it on with a piece of thread, so that's how that is held on there. Inside the journal I just have that linen as the lining and a nice big pocket here with some old trim that runs through to the other side of the journal. Here I've got some original pages layered with some trim and a little piece of paper from an old book from 1814. I just love the feel of this old paper, and I thought it looked fantastic up against this handmade paper. A hotel tag, metal tag, and a button just as a charm there, and I just folded that over with a eyelet. That's probably my favorite part of this journal, is this part here right at the start. I just love the numbers and how they all sort of layer together, and that beautiful old book page. Some fashion magazine, and just a page from an old diary that's blank. Here I just have a beaded charm, and at the bottom is an old little heart. I do like that sort of little corner as well there. There's a lot of things I like in this journal actually. I'm really enjoying this grungy sort of era I'm going through. An original French stamp on a document just tucked into a little tuck spot. I have used some of my printables in this journal. Here I have a little tea bag, and the tea has been taken out of it, and I've just put in a ticket, and I've stapled some lace on the top and just tucked that in with one of those rusted, beautifully rusted paper clips. I've used Kathy's rusted pieces throughout this journal. I will link her shop in the description. A theatre, what is it called? Totally had a blank. Anyway, it's what's going on at the Criterion Theatre from a long time ago, and I've just tucked that into this stunning, I just have to show you this stunning lace. Look how beautiful that lace is. And I've just got that on some of that cotton rag paper, which is quite thick, and a little rusted safety pin with an old bead dangling off it. I've hand stitched a few buttons on there. Here I've just stuck a beautiful piece of old French receipt onto a scrunched paper bag. A book page tag just tucked into a little collaged corner tuck there. An old photograph and a little piece of ledger with some beautiful lace just stuck on the bottom, and here I've just used some lace on that paper clip. Some pieces of ephemera just in a beautiful old lace pocket I've just layered with a button. a really gorgeous rusted piece there with a beautiful charm, and I've just got a piece of beautiful lace over ledger. Lace on top of old ledger, there's just something I love about it, just that sort of, I think it's that delicacy of the two together. I have a beautiful big envelope here that can be used as a tuck spot or somewhere to put something, and I've just done a little collaging there. I've just stapled a few things together, so there's no glue. It is glued on as a tuck spot, but there's no glue for the collaging, just one staple in the perfect spot to hold everything together. A book page tag and an old postcard cover as a pocket. Wallpaper tag. I love this old grungy piece of, it's the corner of a an old doily, and I've just turned the corner down and used a rusted paper clip that I've decorated with some lace. There's a little tuck spot in the corner. A few original pieces, and I have a long piece of beaded necklace. I think it might have been an old rosary at one point in its life, and that's on that cotton rag paper. A few pieces, original document there with the French stamp and a book page, and I've just got that tucked into a lacy layered belly band. You can of course use that second bit of lace as another tuck spot. Some old lace stuck on there. Here, beautiful big safety pin with a gorgeous little antique French charm dangling off, and I've just literally used the safety pin to pin a few pieces of old lace, actually one piece of old lace, and that is tea stained sari trim onto the page there. The other side of the brown paper bag with a little collage there. How cute is that little snippet? That's something that you might, you know, casually throw away, but every now and then you need to scrounge around in your bin and pick out those little pieces and make use of them. Another little French, I think it was an almanac page, and a wallpaper tag. Again, a little decorated paper clip, a stitched page. Here I've just stapled on a gorgeous piece of old lace, and the lace is quite heavy, so it can act as a tuck spot for a tag. Some pieces tucked into some old music paper. Here I've folded down the corner and used an eyelet, and I've just tied a piece of lace through there and have a little beaded charm. I really like that corner. Here I have a tea stained luggage style tag, and I've just stapled on a little layered trim. You could actually have that pop over the top of a pocket, but I like the full pit image of that blossom on the wallpaper instead. And I've just stamped an old piece of linen with an old antique French P for Paper Daisy Journals, and I've just sewn that on with a little, or stitched that on with a little glass button. I keep thinking to do this for my journals, and then I do it once and I forget in the other journals, but there's one in this one. And I've just used a paper clip to wrap that document around and make like a little tuck spot, a little layered sort of tuck spot at the back there. And that is the other side of the journal with that beautiful big pocket. So that is a grungy themed journal with a shabby chic cover. So a bit of a hybrid blend there, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye.